This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news of the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Tuesday, September 10th. First up, the state of audio advertising from Oxford Road. The new report is pitched as, quote, the chief audio officer's guide to maximizing ROI in a changing landscape, end quote. Oxford Road provides a bird's eye view of the podcasting industry, explaining big developments and challenges over the past few years in bite-sized summaries. This extends from the iOS 17 auto-download tweak from last year to the growing presence of YouTube and video in general. The report also builds a mini podscape, focusing on specific tools and services from an advertiser's perspective, sorted by where in the campaign management process they live. Up next, I took a data journey. Here are the disturbing things I found by Jack Neff. Over a period of 6 months, Neff filed data subject requests from multiple large data brokers to get a perspective of what information companies like Acxiom, Epsilon, and Experian collect, plus what they share with marketers. The result is a treasure trove of misinterpretations and false data, including the presumption Neff was born in the 1930s, never graduated high school, also somehow graduated college with student loan debt, has a house valued over $1 million, a Mercedes SUV, and, because of a single visit to Telemundo's website at some point, speaks Spanish. None of these things are true. As privacy evolves and it becomes more difficult to identify consumers through their data, companies who sell data in bulk are going to have a tough time pivoting to focusing on integrity. Half the records, even if twice as accurate, will not be worth double the price. Next up, Scripps closes Upfront, seeing overwhelming demand for women's sports. EW Scripps has finished out the TV upfronts this year with a notable uptick in women's sports investment. CRO Brian Norris told Adweek the company's low single-digit growth in volume can be attributed largely to their commitment to women's sports, and that interest is reflected in ratings, with the Indiana Fever victory over Chicago Sky hitting 1.6 million viewers, making it ION's most-watched WNBA telecast in the past 2 years. As marketers grow more interested in women's sports, we humbly point to the growing field of podcasts focused on women's sports as another avenue for getting brands in front of eager fans. And finally, Rogers Sports and Media announces exclusive advertisement sales agreement with Wondery. Rogers Sports Media has announced they will be the exclusive Canadian ad sales rep for Wondery content. Earlier this year, Rogers announced the closure of its branded podcasting arm, Pacific Content. This new deal signals Rogers has not fully exited podcasting. As for the rest of the news, Audible is poised to create AI versions of select audiobook narrators on the platform. No word yet whether this will move to Audible original podcasts as well. Amaze Media Labs is releasing its branded audience growth network. HeadGum and Saturday Night Live's Ego Wodum have partnered to release Thanks Dad, with special guests taking on the role of Dad for a Day. And Adlist Media has brought Joe Piazza's podcast Under the Influence to the network. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Newton Shuttlecotti, myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.